All right, so here's our class. Now let's declare a variable of this type. So let point be of type point. And then we can type point dot. Look, we have this beautiful IntelliSense. We have two methods, draw and get distance, and two fields, x and y. Now in TypeScript, we also have a concept called property, which is different from a field, but a lot of people use these terms interchangeably. Later in this section, you're going to learn the difference between fields and properties. Now, if you want to call the draw method, we simply call it like this. So this draw method is now part of the concept of a point. It's not a function hanging in the air, polluting the global namespace. Now for this demo, I'm going to add a simple console.log here and display the coordinate of this point. So x, now here I want to add the x field, but we cannot use it like this. We need to prefix it with this dot. So that refers to this field in this class. And then I'm going to add y is, once again, this dot y. Now let's compile and run this program and see what happens. So tsc, what should we type here? Main.ts. And we can shortcut by adding this pipe here, type node, and then main.js, okay? We got a runtime error. Cannot read property draw of undefined. So this is the problem. When we call this draw method, this point object was undefined. Because here, unlike the basic types we have in TypeScript, like numbers, strings, booleans, we're dealing with a custom type. When defining an object of a custom type, we need to explicitly allocate memory to it. How do we do that? Well, here where we declare the point object or the point variable, we initialize it using the new operator. So this object is a new point. And here we add parentheses. This is the syntax. Now you can see that we have repeated this point here twice. So we can make this code a little bit cleaner by removing this type annotation. Because TypeScript compiler can infer from this assignment here that the type of this object is a point object. And let's verify that. So look, you're working with a point object. Now, one more time, save. So back in the terminal, TypeScript compiler, main.ts, and then node main.js. Okay, we didn't get an error, but you can see that these x and y fields don't have a value because by default, they are undefined. So we can get back here and set point.x to, let's say 1, and point.y to 2. Now back in the terminal, TypeScript compiler, main.ts. I actually made a mistake earlier. So instead of this pipe operator, we need to use $& on Mac. I don't know the Windows equivalent. So with this, we can combine multiple commands. So node main.js. All right, beautiful. X is 1 and y is 2. So this is how we use the classes that we define in our programs. Now I want to highlight something here. This point here is a class, but this point here is an object. An object is an instance of a class. As a metaphor, think of the concept of a human. Human could be a class, but when we create instances of this class, like John, Bob, Mary, these are all objects. So that's the difference between a class and an object. Next, we're going to look at constructors.